Thank you very much for inviting me to this very interesting webinar. I will discuss one simple topic, and I will have to do that very briefly. If you had the chance to choose people to lead you through this pandemic and afterward, who would you choose and why? This is the essence of my message. So let us go through it very, very briefly. We were not informed. We were not informed at all about this coronavirus. We outsource our ability to learn and hear and understand what's going on. And for example, The Economist told us nothing. It was not coming. I mean, in January, The Economist was quiet. It was quiet just about the whole month. By the time The Economist said something on January 25th, it actually gave us the wrong message. The Economist told us that we were ready for it. No, it turned out that we weren't. But why? Essentially, we have been trained during the last 60 years to believe that the market solves all our problems. It allocates resources and it decides rewards. But really, what has happened in the last 60 years is that the rewards of some people have increased 13 times more than the rewards of others. So the market really is making some people much richer than the rest, and many people are very angry. And they get even more angry when they see cases of conspicuous consumption. But the great awakening came when we realized that those who we had to take care of us were not really well equipped. They didn't have the ventilators, they didn't have the gowns, they didn't even have the masks and the gloves. Worst of all, they had to be imported because we had outsourced everything to China. So there's something that we have to figure out better. Any society has to get organized to produce and distribute. So we understand that there are two poles. Either you trust the market or you trust central decision making. And there are values that we have to incorporate. You know, there are some values which prioritize people and others that prioritize business and nativism. Me first, for example. If we put that in a map, in a quadrant there, we will have Angela Merkel on the top, first up right-hand quadrant. And then we will have Trump on the lower one and Bolsonaro and Xi Jinping on the other one. Why? Well, they represent those extremes. And there are lots of people around. In the middle of them, we can discuss whether they are properly placed here or there, but essentially that's it. This is how they are distributed. So I asked youngsters, former students of mine for IME, the business school in Salamanca Global MBA, or from FIA, to help me out and garner respondents between Latin America, the Iberian Peninsula, and India. And this is what we got. The populace of Latin America, no good. Our young future leaders of business don't think that they have anything to add. What about the Anglophones? More or less the same thing. Just Trump gets a marginally positive appreciation. And what about the centralists? Well, there is some, yes, condescendence towards that way of behaving, but not much. The real stars are Merkel, Jacinda Ardern, and to some extent, Felipe Sanchez of Spain. Sanchez of Spain, sorry. Now, obviously, we do away with the populists, but we are left with only those. And the star performers are these. What do they bring to the picture? Well, look, they bring a message of hope, empathy, collaboration, justice, service, and peace. This is what they bring, and this is what our young future business leaders want. Now, will they be effective in the future? Well, it just depends. They have to do against a major background of lack of trust. The erosion of trust has been such that there is an enormous wave of conspiracy theories going on. I mean, they are wackos, of course, but they have a lot of following. And they're very active in social media. So if you want to communicate and do something properly, you have to overcome a great resistance of cynicism. So I hear a lot about female leadership. Yes, there have been a few female leaders that have been excellent, and this is why they're there and like it. However, what we really must understand is that the capacity to read into the future was not there. The media missed it, but also business and political leaders missed it. The economists did not help, and when the virus arrived, there was a scramble for everything. And of course, those that had greater muscle took the upper hand, unfortunately. So what is it that we have to understand? We have to leverage whatever capacity to read into the future there is. Some people decide that simulations help, games may help. I think that the ability to read into art, particularly contemporary art, should help a lot to develop the ability to tune into the future by reading messages that are not all that clear. But without that capacity, without that training, we will not be able to anticipate, to read before, in times, and prepare adequately for the crisis that may come in the future. But above all, I want to tell you that one of the most important aspects of this is the humility. This coronavirus has been a great leveler. It doesn't discriminate between anybody. It just attacks. And we have found out that we have a lot in common with the people that take care of us in our lives, even if they were up to now underpaid. And those that appeared in the media all the time really had very little to say. So really, what we have to measure up into the future is the ability to treat people with respect, dignity, and humility. Thank you very much.